I am a current chain smoker, was in a coma due to acute respiratory failure. You'd think I'd learned my lesson, but 4 months later, I wanted one cigarette. And here I am, chain smoking again. I hate what smoking has done to my life, my lungs, and my body, and I wish I could stop, but I just don't know how. I'm going to help you figure out how. In today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to help this self-proclaimed chain smoker quit smoking. Now, if you wind up enjoying the content in today's video, be sure to check out the pinned comment in the video description to learn more about our programs, products, and free resources on how to quit smoking, how to quit vaping, how to overcome addiction, okay? So there's a few things wrong with this comment that I can pick up on when it comes to this person's mindset. And I want to break each of those things down. And if you find yourself in a situation where you think, I'm the worst of the worst, there could be no one more addicted to me, I promise you that's not the case. After someone who has personally struggled with addiction for several years to nicotine, cannabis, media content, all that stuff. Okay, so the first problem that I see here is this. Why didn't quitting work for you? And I see this all the time. You were forced to quit due to a fearful situation. And no matter how bad the situation, no matter how bad the rock bottom is for a person, oftentimes quitting is only initiated by that motivation to quit out of fear, but not out of an actual want to quit. And this time around, if you so choose to quit, you're actually quitting from a much better place, because instead of quitting from like a rock bottom health complication when you didn't actually want to quit, you were forced to quit. This time around, if you actively choose to quit because you want better health, you want better lungs, you want a better life for yourself, you're quitting from a position of choice and power versus from a position of deprivation and being forcefully pushed into quitting, okay? Secondly, when it came to this quitting attempt due to acute respiratory failure resulting from coma from chain smoking, what happened here was you were quitting out of fear. So fear of health complications. And when we have fear, there's often associated anxiety and depression. And if you've been chain smoking, chances are you've been smoking for many, many years of your life, right? And how do you cope with anxiety and depression? How do you cope with the anxiety and depression resulting from a serious health complication? You cope with the tool that you've known how to use best over all those years, which is cigarettes. So to me, it's no surprise that someone who hits a rock bottom situation that results in a lot of anxiety and depression would continue smoking again, would go back to the thing that they know how to cope with best. So that's another reason why we got into this situation that we're in. Now, the next thing that we'd have to consider is you saying, I don't know how to quit. I just don't know how. Well, you do know how. You just stopped smoking because you quit 4 months ago and then you got yourself back into it. But to deny that you quit is outrageous. You quit. You quit for a period of 4 months. And I could ask you, how did you accomplish that? And you would tell me, well, I stopped smoking. Now, we're going to talk about specific ways to quit in a moment, but at the end of the day, whether you use nicotine replacement therapy, supplements, you just stop cold turkey, you read a book like Alan Carr's Easy Way, or you download our free PDF, you just quit. You just stop. You know exactly how to stop smoking. You put down the drug. It's a one-sentence answer. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying this to sound like a smart ass. I'm saying this to help you, right? And how do you get to a place, though, that putting down the cigarette is a place of choice versus a place of deprivation? Well, answer me this. If you're smoking out of fear or anxiety or whatever the reasons are that you smoke, I don't think it's working anymore, because you said, I want to have, it sounds like a better quality of life and better lung health, right? So that's why you're quitting. You want an improved quality of life and better lung health. Why would you delay that? Why would you keep smoking? Why would you delay for another cigarette another second later? Why would you delay that in your life? Just stop. Now, There's another thing here too that's kind of subtle in what you said. I hate what smoking has done to my life and my lungs, and I wish I could stop. One, you could stop and you know exactly how to stop. Two, when I'm looking at this, I hate what smoking has done to my life and my lungs. To me, there's a lot of regret in that, okay? And I understand that. We all make decisions, and some of those decisions have bad outcomes. They have bad consequences. In your case, you experienced that, just like I did throughout my active addiction at points along the way. But regret is not going to serve you when it comes to quitting, because that regret is going to feed into that anxiousness, that depression, that fear that's already existing. And how are you going to cope with that regret? How are you going to cope with the anxiety and the depression that's a side effect of the regret that you're having? You're going to smoke more. You're going to do the thing that you know how to do best, and that's chain smoke. So you have to let go of that regret. Now, how do you do that? Acknowledge that, listen, in life, we can't guarantee that it would have been that much different if you weren't a chain smoker, okay? I'll give you an example. Maybe one day you were driving your car to buy a pack of cigarettes, and because you were on your way to pick up a pack of cigarettes before going into work instead of going directly to work, maybe you missed getting into a major accident that could have resulted in respiratory failure and coma from a motor vehicle accident. But you weren't in the accident because you were in the gas station or you were in the tobacco shop buying tobacco. So a lot of people look at life and they think, oh, if I didn't make that bad decision, I would have had instant success in my life, right? Like if I didn't smoke, I never would have had respiratory failure. Yeah, the chances are much less likely, but they're not a guarantee, okay? So you can't look at, oh, because I chose to do this, my health is all screwed up. Yes, it played a major role, but I can't guarantee that you would have been successful otherwise if you didn't do that. I can't guarantee that you would have taken care of yourself if you didn't smoke, okay? Or that something just spontaneously bad wouldn't have had happen to you, okay? What's happened, happened, and we have to focus on moving forward, because if we don't, we're going to miss the opportunities that are right in front of us. If you hate what smoking has done to your life and your lungs, take responsibility for it and start to rebuild your lungs. Start to rebuild the aspects of your life that have been damaged. Whether it's if it's financial, start saving up, start earning more money. If it's health related, start exercising, start learning about lung health, start working with a pulmonologist, look into supplements that are good for lung health, right? There's a million different things out there that you could do to better your situation. But in the way that you're talking, you're making it sound like it's permanent. And although some aspects of it may be, nothing is ever permanent. There's always something you can do to try and better the situation. And I don't care what doctors have said to you, this and that, there's always something you can do to make things better, always. You can always take some degree of accountability and action to improve your current situation. And smoking is not what's going to do that. It's going to do the opposite. And this is why you're stuck in this trap. This is also why at this exact moment, assuming you're not in the hospital again from a coma or respiratory failure, you have a golden opportunity to quit from a place, from a position of power and choice, not from a position of forced deprivation like you described in this comment below. You're not depriving yourself of anything. In your case, you're rebuilding so you don't have to regret the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of your life. I don't know how old you are, but however much longer you have to live. That regret is a guideline as to what not to do. And you in this moment are going against that. You're going against that gut instinct. You're going against those natural defense mechanisms that your body's put into place. You're ignoring all the stop lights. You're ignoring all the warnings. And it's not because you have an addiction. It's not because you're the worst of the worst chain smokers, because plenty of chain smokers have successfully quit before you, even ones who have smoked through cancer diagnoses and things like that, okay? It's because you're making poor decisions, and those poor decisions are leading to poor outcomes, and those poor outcomes are leading to a poor quality of life. But you can change that right now. You can change that instantaneously by acknowledging that smoking smoking is nothing for you. It has nothing left to offer you. It's run its course. It's time for a change, right? If you guys enjoyed today's video, if you find it helpful, we have single coaching sessions, no ongoing coaching. We have a single session option where I'll work with you one-on-one in a manner similar to this, maybe not as intense, right? But in a manner similar to this. We also have our supplements. And speaking of supplements, right, when it comes to lung health, there's a product, I'll link it in the comments, called Better Lungs or Better Breathing or something. I'll link it in the video description, okay? We have our Kick It Crave Less chewing gum to help reduce cravings, reduce withdrawal symptoms. It has KSM-66 and N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine is an incredible supplement when it comes to pulmonary health, when it comes to people with COPD from complications with smoking, okay? NAC, N-acetylcysteine, one of the primary ingredients in our chewing gum. And then we have our free PDFs and our free handouts to help you quit smoking, quit vaping, and overcome addiction. So check all that stuff out in the pinned comment or the video description. Now, if you like this, follow me right into the next video where I talk a little bit more about cigarettes in particular. I'll see you there.